Minister, we're all aware of the housing crisis that your government continues to preside over, and we're all aware of the details of the all-party Oireachtas Committee on Housing. Now, this government has been very good on announcements, particularly in the social housing area, but it has been scant and very short on delivery. It may come as no surprise to anyone that whilst the government talks about building social housing, that the budget for next year has been cut by 7%. The housing allocation for local authority housing budgets has been cut by 7% for next year. As we're here today, over 2,300 children continue to live in emergency accommodation. Home repossessions continue apace and continue to increase because of an act that the previous government passed, the Land and Conveyancy Act. Homeowners, we haven't done anything to stop families going into homelessness and losing their family homes. The lack of supply, though, is still a very serious one and is causing issues for house prices and also for the rental market. Rental market in Dublin, as you know, and across the country, are back up to 2007 rental levels. You can have a situation right now where a two-bedroom apartment in this city, €1,750 per month. Yet this government expects people to be able to save a 20% deposit to buy a house in Ireland right now. To get on the property ladder is practically impossible. Yet the Governor of the Central Bank is still refusing to do anything with the deposit rates that he has set down. And Minister Noonan has not been able to convince him that setting a ceiling of 20% deposit for buyers in the market is next to near impossible and is ensuring that families, and young families in particular, are not able to get onto the housing market. A €400,000 house, which would be a standard house in Dublin right now, if you're lucky enough to get one, you're looking at an €80,000 deposit. And as I said, this government has failed to be able to persuade the Governor that changes are required. The announcement made in the budget of the First-Time Buyers Grant Initiative, in our view, will do nothing further than to push up those prices further. The supply has not been addressed, and why would a builder or a developer who is currently selling houses at €400,000 not increase those prices up further, because the government have given them a blank cheque effectively, and those who are going to suffer are the people who can't afford right now to buy houses. The government initiative is actually going to push that on further. That is why this needs to be addressed urgently. And I would ask the Minister, are you concerned, and are your government concerned at all about the impact that this first-time buyers initiative will have on house prices? And furthermore, can you confirm if there was any impact analysis done by government on how this initiative will actually affect house prices? And if an impact assessment was done, will you publish it for debate in this House?
Thank you, Deputy. Minister Britton, you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to welcome the budget initiative in the area of housing. We see a 49% increase in the capital allocation to housing and planning this year, a very significant investment, and that underpins the very detailed action plan for housing that Simon Coveney has issued, and it's taking action across a range of areas. As the Deputy admitted, 47,000 social homes, but also other initiatives to help builders to start build, like the affordable rent scheme, like the upfront payment for social housing within private schemes. So there are many initiatives being taken and being delivered. We do recognise, of course, there is a housing supply problem, and I think from my own experience in my area, I can see that we see very few starter homes being built. There's plenty of infill, expensive homes for trading up. There's a real problem in the starter home market, and what has happened there is that the Minister has made a decision that, in light of the deposit requirements set by the Central Bank for very good reasons, got to do with banking, the Minister has made provision in this budget that there will be a Help to Buy scheme, whereby first-time buyers buying new homes can get a tax rebate of up to €20,000, which will effectively be immediately reckonable towards that deposit about which you expressed concern. So this will immediately help more young people to get into that starter market, where you can see with the sight of your own eyes there isn't a movement in that market, and there has been an analysis done around the different parts of the market and how they're moving. And very clearly, the starter home market is an area where there's low volume and there isn't movement. So this is a measure that's directly designed to help the very people you say, young people who are seeking to get on the home ownership ladder, who are in expensive rental accommodation, who find it difficult to put the deposit together. And here is a measure directly designed to assist those very people.
Deputy O'Brien, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, you didn't answer the question that I asked very clearly. Has the government done an independent impact assessment on your first-time buyers grant initiative? And if you have, will you publish it? This is not a help to buy scheme. This is a help to sell scheme, and that is exactly what it is. I put it to you now, of the few estates that are being built in my area right now, you've starter homes at about 430,000. And I'm asking you, on behalf of government, can you give a commitment here now that you are confident that it will not lead, that your initiative here will not lead to house prices increasing further across the country? Because we are certain that it actually will. Because you've set a ceiling. A €600,000 house, you're going to give a €20,000 rebate. What we should actually be looking at doing is actually setting a cap and looking at construction costs. There's no initiatives. You've done nothing in relation to development levies, certification costs, VAT on construction, off-balance sheet developments, those type of things, bringing in the credit unions who would be able to fund schemes to build affordable homes for families. And you've done nothing to stop families falling into homelessness still, with home repossessions increasing day after day after day. So you're not going to the root cause of the problem. So I want to ask you, have you an independent assessment done? If so, will you publish it? And will you give a commitment to the House here that government is confident that your initiative here, that the initiative by government will not lead to further increases in house prices, because you're not addressing the supply issue? Publish it.
Of these programmes.
Will you publish
and the very problem that we're addressing here is a problem where many builders cannot at the moment afford to provide the top-up of the funding that's needed to get starter homes. We are not seeing large estates being built. We're not seeing estates of 100 and more houses being built at the moment. So the Minister has taken direct action to help that starter home market. And that is a very important part of that market. And for example, he is making provision, as you know, that there will be an affordable housing scheme where a developer, many of whom are not back in the market, can get access to cash on a guarantee of making homes available at affordable prices. They're also getting upfront payment in respect of social homes. But we continue to have the problem that you seem to ignore, that young people are paying expensive rent. They can't put together the deposit, which the Central Bank, for its own proper reasons, have set. We do not want a repeat of the banking bubble. So the Central Bank have set requirements. Here we've provided a scheme that will help those young people provide the deposit and be able to purchase homes which at the moment are not being built.